Good morning, Paige.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am well. How are you?
Oh, it's been a Mercury retrograde start to the day, but it's all good.
Right. In keeping with the goddess and embodiment and all that, I always like to ask, how are you in your body today?
um, in my body today, I am feeling a little bit high vibrationally, but I'm trusting that it will all come into alignment in 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 as I need it to today.
Divine timing, all in divine timing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm kind of in that
So,
in that that mindset of more shall be revealed.
oh yes. Well, and I think that that's what Ishtar has gifted us, right?
Yeah, you want to go right into that one, I guess. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when we pulled the card, I thought, "Oh, Ishtar, this is good." I don't really know much about her, that except
Hmm.
it was a name of a really horrible movie, I think, long ago. Anyway,
Right?
I digress. And so we have this beautiful deck, the Goddess Power Oracle, and that's where we're choosing these cards from. And so we read the description. Communion sounds great. Let's explore that. And it's all about finding synchronicities, connecting the dots, your relationship with the invisible world, how you
Hmm.
really need to pay attention and develop that communion with spirit and yourself,
Hmm.
and that's how you just kind of guide yourself. And that she was a priestess, one of the oracles people would come to seek
Mm.
guidance
Yeah.
and be empowered to make the choices that they need to make in their life. Okay, love that.
Mm.
Great. Want to know a little bit more about that. So I go to Dr. Google, or no, not Dr.
The
Google,
Google.
but the Google. Dr. Google is where you go when you're not feeling so well and you want to know what's going on. Uh, and
Mm.
and I told you, I said, all right, this goddess is an enigma because I'm finding out more about her,
Hmm.
in that she's also associated with love and war. And
Yeah.
how interesting is that? And you and I got in a little discussion, and we wanted to bring it up with the group, that oftentimes we are searching for the meaning of a particular goddess, and it's up to interpretation in some ways what
Yeah.
resonates with us,
Hmm.
right? And I think you were talking about, tell us a little bit about the Tuesday tools that you kind of brought
Well,
us
yeah.
to.
So we, in our own explorations with the goddess and with our developing of our connection to our divine feminine, we have to really lean into our discernment and what is in alignment with where we are on our journey and on our path, and what we're hoping to evolve within ourselves, right? So even as we're leaning into each of these goddesses, it's not that every single one is going to be exactly on target for me, but it's about what is it that this goddess is offering me to explore within myself. So as we developed this exploration with Ishtar this week for ourselves, um, we went to different resources, and each of those resources actually had completely different messages. Which then we found ourselves in this like perplexed place of, okay, how do we move forward with this with our community and invite them into understanding her messages more. And so I really feel like what we gained out of our exploration so far with Ishtar is the understanding that we can choose whichever message comes from whichever source that's speaking to us, Or we can go within and commune with Ishtar in our own spiritual planes and our own practices and listen to what she has to say to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these themes that we are sourcing out are coming from many different vantage points. All the different ways that we're talking about the goddess each week is coming from research that we are purposely and intentionally doing, not only for our own elevation and exploration, but also to help us develop our programming that we're going to be moving forward to with you all. So we're excited about the fact that we get to truly choose what speaks to our heart.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And we are invited in this particular deck that when the card shows up upside down, as sometimes they do, there is what they call an alignment message, which is kind of like when you see a card that's reversed or whatever. And people often think when they're doing oracle cards and other, it means it's a bad thing, you know, something's wrong. But I wanted to read, because we were talking about this a little bit and how this kind of works for us, is when you refuse to see the signs, it can ultimately take you down a path you really don't want to go on. When red flags indicate something is not quite right, it's not a sign to jump in with both feet. It says, this is not for you. This is not yet. This is to be revealed. I think that is what was resonating with me in that more shall be revealed. And it, not in a bad way, but in a really, there's no really bad or good. I don't want to go into the duality of it, but
just that experience.
It's an experience, and I'm anticipating certain experiences, and I'm thinking, what, like we've talked about so many times, how is this going to happen? What is this leading me to? And and I just have to sit back and say, you know what, more shall be revealed, as long as I work on communing with the goddess through Ishtar in her many different ways. I mean, it may be I want to look at my role in love and sensuality and that sort of thing, or war being just conflict resolution. What is my role to play in that? Not that I'm going to go to war with anybody. I mean, that's not what we're all about.
I'm at war with myself. Like, how often do we find ourselves beating ourselves up and directing negative beliefs about ourselves on ourselves? I mean, that in of itself is an act of war on your being, right? And I love the duality of the two. You know, as we did these researches, I'd really love for you to talk more what you found about people coming to commune with Ishtar and receiving guidance from her, because that is the representation of this card, is that she was the priestess, right?
Right. And the priestess, when you come to the oracles, there are many different thoughts of that. There is the Magdalens. You can go and explore that. However, people would come and not in an act of submission, but in a seeking mode. And the oracle, being in communion with spirit and being a vessel, would then impart information to you that so that would speak to your inner knowing. And sometimes you already know, you just need somebody else to reveal it to you. And that is and it says here, no one needs to rescue you when you act empowered. It's very empowering when you seek these messages, because the messages are ultimately coming from yourself. And that,
well, and I think that's what she gives us, right? She gives us the opportunity to be in communion with spirit. You know, we can invoke her to help us act as that channel of receiving.
Right. And that is
And
what the goddess is. What we're exploring in all of these goddesses is how we can invoke
mhm,
these certain
exactly.
modalities, energies to bring out what is innately inside of us and our vision.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I love that this card from this particular deck talks about how are you being communicated with? What are the different ways that you are receiving communication from spirit? I do a lot of animal observations. Okay, who's showing up?
Mm-hmm.
Or numbers talk to me all the time. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly, okay, I'm collecting this awareness of these numbers so that I can go and observe what is that numbers representation, because there's a message in that.
Mm-hmm.
I, practice through meditation and just really tapping into my body and what's happening here, what's being communicated through me energetically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about really tapping into recognizing and honoring the ways that you commune with spirit. I think that in our approach with this particular deck, that's what we were gifted the opportunity to explore. And then we found more information by going and researching her deeper and finding other ways to receive messages from spirit about her.
Right. And I think even more the beauty of being able to share that experience with another. This is what I'm finding.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's
Yeah.
resonating with me. Is I just love that. I love that. And
Yeah.
I think I say this every Wednesday is that we want to hear your experiences with the goddess and what messages you're
Yes.
receiving. Just post in the comments what signs and synchronicities you see, like you were saying, your animal guides and numbers. For me, definitely numbers works for me, and of
Mm-hmm.
a feeling in my body, if it's light or if it's dense. Those are the two things that I
Mm-hmm.
rely on
Yeah.
the most. And I am getting a little better at observing the nature around me, other than being at the beach and the sunrise. However, I will say this morning I woke up and it was cloudy, and I thought, oh, I don't know if I want to go out, and there won't be any of the glorious sunshine to, capture, to add to my 30,000 photographs I have right now. But I thought, no, I am going to go out, and just put my feet in the sand and get grounded, and
Mm.
whatever I see, I see. And it was really
Yeah.
beautiful. It was a little kind of gray, but there was some blue, and you could tell the light was behind it. And I honestly loved it. And it was, that contrast, and that I felt like I don't have to
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
glorious sunshine. I can wear yellow today, and that's my sunshine. And it was nice to be able to share those images and things to my virtual family and friends, and it
Mhm.
resonated with others too. I don't know.
Mhm.
We're all having a shared experience in all of this, right? We're not in a
Yeah.
vacuum, even though we feel like we're all alone
Right.
experiencing these things. But that just is a wonderful thing about this group, and having these goddess chats every Wednesday really helps me get on with the day.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
tonight we're having our first book circle, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, exploring A Return to Love. I think I
Mm.
posted on the site that even if you haven't read any of the book or just a portion, please jump in and participate, because that's what we want to explore. And you may have ideas and uh, experiences to share that we all can benefit from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We love to have time with you, no matter how that is experienced, and we trust that each time we come together, we're going to be able to share ideas and inspiration with each other, however that's expressed or
Mm-hmm.
experienced. So
Right.
we
And
look
the new
forward to
moon.
spending this time with you. Yeah.
And our new moon coming up. Woo. I get excited about that. I'm already doing my
Yes.
research and explorations and all that.
Yay.
So, yeah, it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, friend. Well, thank you, Ishtar, for your opportunities for us to expand and grow on our divine feminine journey. And thank you, Goddess, for spending this Wednesday morning with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Always. I love you. Love you all.
Love you. We'll see you all soon.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Namaste.